Hey friends, good evening. Hey, it's almost dinner time, so I'm going to try to be quick. I know I always say that, I'm going to try to be quick. But hey, happy summer. This is my day 2 out in the hot, it was 80, 95, I think it got to yesterday, 85 today. Ironically enough, I'm out here in my outdoor office drinking a whole lot of extra water today. And my question for you is, what books are you reading this summer? Most of the time we start summer, school's out. Most schools are out now anyways. But when school's out, you're thinking about, oh, what books am I going to read? What novels am I going to put on my, get on the top? For me, I'm kind of a nerd. I'm always reading something about health. So this is a perfect month for me because to redo, doing Roxy's life book review. We're on day 10 of our life book challenge and becoming the dominant force in our lives, creating a path to optimal health and well-being, and becoming the dominant force, making it happen, creating the dream. So that's me. I read this stuff and science and studies and enjoy that more than fiction. I am looking for a good novel for my cruise in July, though. If you have any tips for me, let me know. But the topic for today, day 10 of 26-day challenge, is hydration. And I wanted to share a couple things. It's, you read a book. I've had this book for almost 8 years, and I've read it through probably at least 8 times. But I feel like there's always something that I've never read. And I wanted to share with you today. This is some really, hydration seems like a really basic thing. But honestly, most people struggle with this more than anything. That I talk to every single day. That's the number one thing that they can, pretty much anyone can do better. I would say 80-90% of people that I'm talking to can do better. Very few are really nailing it every day. So water, how important is water and hydration? Well, this chapter is all about that. Believe it or not, Diet Dr. Pepper used to be my jam. About 20 years ago, yeah, Diet Pepper was my go-to. I really learned a lot about, I was never a full-on sugar girl in terms of hydration, and I wasn't a soda, full sugar girl, but I was a diet girl, and Diet Pepper was my thing. And I know there's a lot of diet do's out there, do people that hydrate with sodas. But once I learned that even if I am, you got the full-on soda for hydration, which isn't really hydrating, you're putting 22 packets of sugar in your body immediately. If you hydrate with the diet, well, then you got it attacking your teeth, the acid attacking your teeth, and then you got, within 20 minutes, you got fat storage hormones that are turning on. Within 40 minutes, you've got the addictive process, the sugar addiction process has started. Within 60 minutes, you've got hunger pangs happening after a diet soda. That's just within 1 hour of a diet. So, truth be told, I don't know which is worse, the 22 packs of sugar or all of that stuff going on. The very safest way to go is just straight up water, folks. Hydration. Your body is 50. Here, I'm gonna read this to you because this is really cool stuff. I haven't read this in a long time. Our body's 55 to 60% made up of water, so it's a critical component, and we do have to replenish it. It doesn't replenish itself, so we do have to redo that. It helps. I'm going to give you some reasons to actually titrate out of your sodas, diet or regular, and into more water. I always say crowd out the bad with the good. Okay, and so when you're titrating out of that and into more water, I'm going to give you some good reasons why to do more water. All right, today, and these are really good reasons. Hopefully, you find some motivation in this. So, good hydration helps your organs and systems function properly. Okay, every organ and function in your body takes place in the presence of water. It is the solvent that moves nutrients, hormones, antibodies, oxygen through your bloodstream and lymphatic system and removes waste. And of course, it's essential to your kidneys' ability to eliminate and metabolize and eliminate metabolic byproducts, so to get rid of toxins. in your body. And my dear friend Sharon just posted, this is a great factoid here. If you don't drink enough water, your body is forced to recycle dirty waste, diminishing the efficiency of every single metabolic function. Now, if that isn't good, those aren't good reasons for you, like from a physiological standpoint, I don't know what is. Those are great reasons. This whole thing about 8 ounces of water, 8 ounces of glasses a day, quite frankly, it's just sort of an adequate number. It doesn't mean that that's what you really need. More likely, it's more like half your body weight, depending on what your weight is. But that's just sort of the basics of the basics. It's an adequate amount, but it's kind of an arbitrary number, scientifically speaking. It's a number to shoot for. But again, if you have other health issues, you might need more, you might need less. But I know I drink at least 120 a day, so that's almost, I drink at least 120. I drink 30, 60. I drink 90. Probably 100 at least a day. But anyway, now also you need more if you're going to be out in the heat, because you're sweating and it's coming out your pores, it's coming out, you're breathing, you're sweating, it even comes out of your feet. So you're losing it and you can get dehydrated in a real hurry. So in the summer you need even more. Of course, if you're intensely exercising, and electrolytes are good. However, beware, don't be drinking those electrolyte drinks that have all the sugar in them. And read your labels if they've got the sucralose, if they've got the aspartames in them. It's just going to cause your fat storage to turn on within 20 minutes, the addictive process within 40, and before long, in 60 minutes, you're going to be hungry. So it triggers all that stuff. Okay, so be very aware of what you're drinking, even if you're drinking an electrolyte to replace, which is good. But just make sure to choose wisely. If you need more help with that, I'm happy to help. Just shoot me a screenshot of what it is you're drinking. I'm happy to look with you and teach you a few things about what you're looking for on your label of your drink of choice. And here's another few reasons that it's good to hydrate and drink water, and especially if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to maintain weight, or really especially if you're trying to lose some weight this summer, Fat Burn Blitz, couple weeks of drinking plenty of water, and you're going to see that scale go down just with no dietary changes alone. Trust me. I've seen it happen many times before. When I'm starting to work with a new client, that's the number one recommendation before we even change anything, and they're already thrilled because they can think straight, they can get their brain cells back, they have more energy, and they see that scale go down just by drinking water and making sure that they're hydrated, crowding out the bad stuff with the good. And that's just the number one tip I can give you. That's free, and within your power to do, every single person. Here's another thing, a reason though. If you're trying to lose weight, you want to be conscious of this, real conscious, because number one, it's calorie free. Number two, it keeps you from overeating. Okay, third, you know what? If you're full because you drank all that water, it's going to keep you from overeating. Number four, it's going to facilitate removing toxins from your body. So that's a good thing. And remember, every time you eat more glucose than you need, or toxic sugars, ultra refined sugars, and those addictive substances, and the chips and the junky sugars and stuff, your body actually retains water, trying to protect you from the toxicity of it. So it will let loose on all of that. It will actually prevent dehydration, and it will actually, let's see, it says it prevents dehydration as your body eliminates excess salt and water from a diet of too much processed food, which I already talked about. So it prevents dehydration. It minimizes or eliminates fatigue, lack of energy, headaches, and unclear thinking. I did mention that, didn't I? Lack of energy, headaches, and unclear thinking. If you're wondering why that's happening to you and you have chronic fatigue, this is just the basic thing to do. And not lastly, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it speeds up your metabolism. A recent study shows that drinking 2 8-ounce glasses of cold water increases metabolism by 30% for 90 minutes. Huh, go figure. I don't feel like I've ever read that before. 8 ounces of really cold water increases metabolism by 30% for 90 minutes. Go figure. It helps you your liver convert its fat to energy. So you want to support that liver. Your liver is a really, really important organ for detoxing, and it helps convert fat to energy. So you want to make sure that liver is fleshed out. It also compensates for the loss of glycogen storage as you lose weight. So for every extra ounce of carbohydrate you eat that you don't need, it goes into your body's fat storage and as glycogen, and it stores 3 or 4 grams of water for each gram of extra glycogen that you don't need and use. So it is a really big deal. So those are great reasons to stay hydrated, and to get hydrated if you're not. 40% of Americans, I would say more like 50 to 60%, but nowadays, that was a 2013 statistic, are dehydrated. So now it's 10 years later. I would say it's much more than that at this point. And I find that most of the people that I work with, my clients, lifestyle transformation clients that are over 40, most of them are, they don't like water. It's very difficult to drink water. The older we get, it seems the harder it is. So, but it's more important as we age. So, to help you to stay out of nursing homes, out of wheelchairs, and functioning, keeping up with the grandkids. So, make sure that if you have any questions about what it is you're drinking and you want to do a deep dive with your labels, again, send me a screenshot. If you want more info about like what are some alternatives to water if you really don't like water, or how do you ease into it if you don't like water, I'm happy to share. I've got some ebooks on some different things I can send you. So just shout out if you'd like any tips on how to like water and what you can do to make it more palatable. I do like fresh mint in my herb garden, and I like to just put fresh mint in my water and infuse it. But a note to self, to watch the color of your urine, because that can tell you right then and there if you're dehydrated or not. So yeah, when it's more clear, you're in the clear. When it's darker yellow, you're in trouble. So that's a little note to self. Too much information, TMI, I know. But anyways, I'm going in to eat dinner now, and I hope that this inspires you in some way, shape, or form to crowd out the bad with the good. It can only help in so many ways, and it will help you to start aging backwards. All right, midlife makeovers matter, and they work, and you know what? Healthy habits don't come in a pill shot, potion, or lotion. Healthy habits just actually come from one day at a time, doing one thing differently, consistently, and if they're not happy habits, then they're not going to stick. So find a fun way to drink your water. I'm not a straw girl. I'm not an ice girl. I'm a straight up cold water in a bottle girl. But you know what? Find your way and make it work and have fun with it. Big fun jugs, right? We can find all kinds of things, different big fun jugs with words on them. You've seen them, right? So whatever floats your boat, but just make sure you get it out. It's visible. You can see how much you've had. That's my best recommendation. Just make it visible. If it's not visible, you can't keep track of it. So that would be my best tip for you. Put it all out on the counter at once and see how far you can get, and take it one day at a time. And there is an argument to, hey, this water thing is all a bunch of bunk. It's just because the water companies want to sell more water in a bottle, and there may be some truth to that, I suppose. But you know what? You don't need to buy bottled water. You don't need to buy fancy water. You could buy some, pH balanced fancy stuff, which is nice if you can afford it. It'd be good. But hey, just start drinking what you got in your tap, and that's the best way to start. And it's cheap and it's free. So don't worry about all that other stuff. I'm so glad you're here watching, everybody. Donna and Louise, Jerry, Marlene, glad to have you. Please give me a screenshot of what you're hydrating with, and we'll talk about how we can get better to crowd out the bad with the good. So have a great night. I'm going to eat. Healthy habits stick if they're happy. Good night.